What's up, y'all? So check it out. Today, I'm working on a JK. Shouldn't be on this that long, because I got a few things I need to check, torque down, but I'm working on it. Now, y'all know me. From time to time, I like to do things to try to help y'all out, try to point y'all in the right direction. Maybe it'll help a few of y'all out to solve a few issues. I don't know, but we'll see. So check it out. What I got going on is we've had the JK since, I don't know, like 2018 or something like that. And since we got this thing, I have not once torqued down anything on the suspension to factory specs. Probably because I never had to. Now on the JT, on the other hand, I wheel in that all the time, so I periodically check my stuff all the time. And someone thought I was crazy for doing it, but you know what? Checking my stuff, I find things out of torque all the time. So we're gonna do the same thing on the JK. One of the main reasons is because I picked up some tires and wheels off Marketplace, because you know these tires are bad anyway, and they need to be replaced. So I picked up some tires and wheels. I'm gonna put them on here, and I figured while I got the tires and wheels off, front suspension up in the air, I'll go ahead and torque down like the track bar, the ball joints, the drag link, tie rod. What else I got up under there? Pitman arm nut. Yeah. Gotta make sure I check that. So I'm gonna go ahead and check everything, make sure they torque the spec. Let's get to it. Now before I get started, on the JK I did have to replace the rear tire carrier. You can see different color bolts up underneath because I lost two of the bolts because the stock one took a turn for the worse. Now I could have went with an aftermarket one, replaced the bumper and all that, but I think this was self-inflicted right here. Not gonna tell you what happened, but yeah, it was self-inflicted. So one of my buddies had this one off of his JK, so I got it, put it on there, looking the same thing. And besides, we're going with the tires that are already, well, not the same tires, but the same size tires that were already on there. So it's really not any more weight, so we're good. Now, her Jeep, these tires, matter of fact, hold on, let me show you. There's a tread wear indicator. It's right there. They're down almost to the tread wear indicator. But the main thing is, if you look, dry rot, they're all dry rotted. I mean, these tires are 5 years old, with about 57,000 miles on them, and or maybe 47. And here's the spare with a plug in it. Anyway, it's unsafe, and we needed new tires and everything anyway. So like I said, I picked up some off the Marketplace, and we're gonna roll with them. Now the tires that are on here, when she got the Jeep, because like I said, we don't really wheel in this one. Gotta have one that's always running, right? So she's been running these Cooper Discovery AT3s, 285 7017s. And I just so happened to find another pair of 285 717s already on rims at a good deal. So let me show them to you real quick. So got these 285 7017s already on the wheel. Evolux Rotator MT. They're a cheaper brand. We'll get some other tires down the road, a different brand, maybe some ATs, because we do drive this one more than we wheel it, so no need for MTs. But like I said, you know, couldn't pass up the deal, couldn't pass up the price. Maybe we'll ride these for a few hundred miles, throw some ATs on there, and keep it moving. Now what I did was I went and looked at everything that I'm going to be working on, and I downloaded the specs for the torque settings. I got them all highlighted on my little page here, so I'm going to follow the manufacturer specs, put them back like it's supposed to be, and we're going to keep it pushing. Now the only reason that I'm dropping the track bar is because I need to get to the pitman arm nut. Once I tighten that up, I'm gonna put the track bar right back up. Well, once I get the pitman arm nut to spec, I'll put it right back up. Put the track bar back to spec on both the axle and the frame, and check the other nuts and everything, and put it back together. I'm planning on making this take all day. Now I'm using a ratchet strap to pull the axle to the frame over here to make this a little bit easier, and look, pops right out. Now, since I'm only taking the track bar out to access the pitman arm nut, I'm not even gonna move the ratchet strap. I'm gonna leave it where it is, that way I can put it back up and put it right back in. All right, y'all, so using a 33mm socket and realized I didn't have one. I used the 42 when I checked the pitman arm nut on my JT, and I don't know what I was thinking, so I had to go get one. No big deal, got it. But keep in mind that when you start torquing it down, it's gonna move. So the pitman arm is gonna actually, when you start torquing down the pitman arm, it's gonna actually move the whole thing, like you see it turn to the left right here. That's what's gonna happen. So I got my torque wrench set at 184 foot-pounds, and I'm gonna see what we got. Okay. Let me double check it. All right. Now, the specs that it's giving me for these 4 steering box bolts are 87 foot-pounds, and I'm using a 18mm socket and my torque wrench. Might have to, yeah. Probably gonna have to use a long one for that one. Yeah, no big deal. They all good. Okay. Now all I'm gonna do now is put the track bar back up, torque it to spec. Check the, well, matter of fact, I'm gonna check these first before I put the track bar back up, because it's easy to get to. Well, it's easy if I put the track bar back up. Anyway, I'm gonna check these, make sure they're up to the tie rod, make sure they're good, I'm gonna check that drag link right there since it's up in the air. Spin it back that way so I can get to it, and then check that. Now, for the tie rod to the knuckles, it's giving me 47 foot-pounds, and I'm using a 21 millimeter socket. Now, so these so the tie rod to the knuckles, it says 47 foot-pounds. There was kind of two things in there. One said 63 and one said 47, but it is 47. If I can remember, I think my JT was like 33 or something like that, if I remember back that far. But anyway, and I'm using a Crowsfoot, which I think everybody should have in their toolbox instead of Crowsfoot. And that's because for these ball joints on here, gotta hold that ball joint, you gotta hold it still. So, oh. 47. Y'all can hear it. It clicked a little bit. So lucky enough for me, the other side was at 47 foot-pounds. So, hey, got this one, got that one. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move on to the drag link. Then I'm gonna put the track bar back in place and mount the wheels back up. The drag link to the knuckle, same 7 millimeter, rusty so it fits down tight. But same 7 millimeter hex, should be the same 21 millimeter. Yep. By the way, yeah, that'll happen. Now, before I go any further, I think I should point something out to y'all. I know on the tie rod and the drag neck, y'all saw me using the Crowsfoot. Well, the torque specification for the Crowsfoot is a little bit different. So what you gotta do is use the conversion chart. And they're all over the internet. You just gotta look for one. So for example, here's one right here. And what they ask for is the torque specifications that you're supposed to have, which I put it in there. And then right there they put the length of the torque wrench, and then they put the length from the Crowfoot center to the torque wrench center, well, center of the where it goes into the Crowfoot, and then it tells you what it's supposed to be. So in other words, when it says torque spec for whatever you're tightening up the nut, fastener, or whatever, you go by that. So for example, this one is 63 foot-pounds, and it says the effective length of the torque wrench, right? So you measure from there to the center of the handle. And guess what? This torque wrench just so happens to have a mark right there in the center of the handle. So I measure from here to there to the center of the handle, and I came up with 24 inches, 2 feet. And then it says the change in length from Crowfoot center to where it goes in the Crowfoot, which would be, the fastener would be right there, and the Crowfoot, so the fastener would be right there in the middle, and the Crowfoot, so the fastener would be right there in the middle of the Crowfoot, which I measured while it was on the nut, and the center of there, which gave me an inch. Put that in there, it automatically calculates it for you, and it gave me 60.48. So there's your calculator. Let me get this track bar back in so I can get these wheels and stuff back on. Now I kept the ratchet strap on here, so it shouldn't be too much trouble trying to get the track bar bolt back in unless the ratchet strap is eased up a little bit and moved. So let's see what we got. Now it's a good idea to torque these down at ride height. I'll go ahead and tighten this down on the frame side and on the knuckle side, or axle. So both the track bar nuts on both sides on the frame and on the axle are 125 foot-pounds. Yeah. Now I'm gonna take the ratchet strap off. Nope, I gotta go do the other side. Hold on. All right, so I got everything torqued down, the track bar, drag link, put the sway bar end links back on, the 75 foot-pounds. Got the Pitman arm nut torqued down, so all that's left now is to put the wheels on, get the jack stands from under here, and see what she look like. Let's get it. Well, got the tires on, got stuff torqued down. All that's left to do now is take it down the road and see what it rides like. Oh, wait a minute, let me let you see. Let me move out of the way. All right. Forgot it's a little bit different than riding in my JT. Let's take it on a trip. All right. Try to get up to about 65 on the way back to see. Well, a little more road noise than I expected, but I think the basket up there is a little loose, so I'm gonna take it off. But I think from the tires themselves, it's a little more road noise than I expected. That probably could contribute to two things. One, these tires are not new, got a couple thousand miles on them, but the other thing is they're not probably the best brand of tire. They're a cheap tire, and they're MTs, so they got three things contributing to the road noise, which she may or may not like it. If she doesn't, not a big deal. We're gonna get some ATs anyway. At least we got a set of wheels out of this, and we can get rid of the tires if we have to, so it's not that big of a deal. But it looks better with the MTs. Maybe we can go to a more aggressive tire like the Yokohama ATXs like I have on my Jeep over there, and we can roll with that. But we'll see how she likes it first. If she doesn't, boom, we'll change it up. So that's it for now. I hope this helped somebody. You know, torque your stuff down. Like I say, go by the torque specifications, look it up, about the Crowsfoot, torque wrench, all that good stuff. Periodically check your stuff, even if you don't wheel, and even if you don't own a Jeep, on any vehicle. Periodically check your stuff, because you never know. That's it for me. Y'all stay safe. Don't forget to smile. Go out and change your life. Peace out.